The air was thick with tension. On one side stood Donovan Ruddock, Canada's heavy-handed destroyer, a man with a left hook so vicious it had earned the name The Smash. Across from him, in the opposite corner, was Iron Mike Tyson, the most feared man in boxing, the former undisputed champion, a beast determined to reclaim his throne. This was not their first encounter. Their first battle had been pure violence, a controversial finish that left fans demanding more. Ruddock had survived Tyson's power, even shaken him at moments, and he refused to bow down. Tyson, furious with the stoppage, was out for blood. Now, in the rematch, the stakes were higher. Tyson was fighting not just Ruddock, but also the whispers that his dominance had begun to fade. Ruddock was fighting for his name, for his pride, to prove that he could not only stand toe-to-toe with Tyson, but beat him. The crowd roared as both men entered the ring. Tyson, short, muscular, his eyes blazing with menace. Ruddock, tall, powerful, a predator ready to unleash his weapon. When the bell rang, it wasn't boxing, it was war. Tyson lunged forward, head movement sharp, fists exploding like thunder. Ruddock answered with his own bombs, swinging his feared left hook with bad intentions. Every punch could have ended the night. Every second felt like borrowed time. This wasn't just a rematch. This was a collision of pride, power, and pure rage. And the question hanging over everyone's head was simple. Who would survive the storm this time? The opening rounds were pure chaos. Tyson came forward like a predator unleashed, bobbing and weaving, his fists exploding with deadly precision. Every hook, every uppercut was thrown with the intent to destroy. Ruddock, taller and longer, refused to back down. He planted his feet and fired back with his own bombs. The crowd gasped with every exchange. Tyson's speed and ferocity were still there, lightning-fast combinations ripping through the air. But Ruddock's chin held, and when he countered with the smash, the sound of leather echoed like a gunshot through the arena. Tyson shook it off, but the message was clear. Ruddock wasn't here to fall. Round after round, they traded fire. Tyson's short hooks snapped Ruddock's head back. Ruddock's left hand crashed into Tyson's body, thudding like a hammer. It wasn't boxing anymore. It was a slugfest. Two men testing how much punishment the human body could endure. By the fourth, fans were on their feet, unable to sit still. The ring shook with violence. Commentators shouted in disbelief, unable to process the savagery unfolding before them. Both men took shots that would have ended lesser fighters, but neither refused to yield. The rematch had become everything the first fight promised and more. Brutal, raw, unforgettable. As the fight pressed into the middle rounds, Tyson's strategy became clear. Drown Ruddock in pressure. He slipped inside, ripping hooks to the body, then exploding upstairs with combinations that rattled the giant Canadian. Ruddock staggered but did not fall. His mouthpiece flew out from a brutal exchange. Sweat sprayed with every Tyson bomb, yet he stood his ground, firing back like a man possessed. Tyson, smelling blood, grew more vicious. He launched combinations that blurred together: uppercut, left hook, right hand. The crowd screamed as Ruddock absorbed punishment no mortal should survive. But each time Tyson looked close to finishing it, Ruddock answered with that dangerous left. By round 7, the violence had reached another level. Tyson's power was unmatched, but his opponent's durability was shocking. Fans couldn't believe Ruddock was still standing. The fight had become a war of wills. Tyson's ferocity versus Ruddock's defiance. The later rounds were hell. Tyson kept coming forward, fists flying like sledgehammers, but Ruddock refused to break. He absorbed, he endured, and when he swung back, the arena erupted. A massive left hook in the 8th shook Tyson momentarily. The crowd roared as the giant Canadian pressed forward. Tyson smirked, shook his head, and came back with even more fury. They traded bombs at close quarters, neither man willing to step back. It was madness. Each round ended with the crowd screaming, unsure who had taken the worst of it. Tyson was ahead, but Ruddock's refusal to fall turned him into a hero in defeat. He had taken the best of Tyson's shots, the same shots that ended legends, and he was still standing. When the final bell rang, both men were unrecognizable. Tyson, still ferocious, had his hand raised in victory, but his face bore the bruises of war, his chest heaving from exhaustion. Across the ring, Ruddock stood tall, battered, swollen, but unbroken. The judges declared Tyson the winner by unanimous decision. But the crowd knew what they had witnessed was bigger than a result. This wasn't just a fight. It was a survival test, a battle of two men who refused to surrender. Ruddock lost, but his stock rose. He had endured Mike Tyson at full power, not once, but twice, and lived to tell the tale. Tyson won, but even he admitted the respect he had for the Canadian's toughness. The rematch had delivered everything: power, punishment, drama, and heart. It wasn't about belts or rankings anymore. It was about two men carving their names into boxing history through sheer brutality. And as the arena emptied that night, one truth echoed louder than all others. This was not just Tyson versus Ruddock. This was war.